Action. Hello, everyone. It's your favorite host, the most, Benjamin Dutill. And here we are again, another episode for the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, I have a wonderful guest. I'm super excited to have you on my show. I really am. I just finished watching the movie for the very first time, and I was very ecstatic. Loved the movie. Totally not what I was expecting, but I loved it. So today I have Krystle Martin, who plays Cindy in the movie, the mean one. I can't say the other name of the movie because, legal expectations and laws and all that bullshit. So anyway, um, for those that don't know you, can you please provide a quick, brief background of yourself, if you don't mind?
Hello, I'm Krystle Martin, and I'm an actor and stunt performer, and I've been doing stunts for about 13 years. I started as an actor, went to a conservatory, and then a UCLA theater program. And then after that, I met stunt people, both on set and at a place called Santa Monica Muscle Beach, where everyone was just getting together to play, and that made me want to consider stunts. Even at that point, it wasn't going to be a career choice, just hanging out with people. They started inviting me to work out with them. And then I booked a live stunt show. And that's kind of what took my career in the stunt direction. Totally unexpected, but it's been a really awesome journey.
Fantastic. You have a degree too, right? I believe I've read that right yes.
Yeah, a
Um,
BA in theater arts with an acting emphasis.
nice, nice. It's always good to have a college degree under your belt. It always helps.
It was important to me because I was the first person in my family to go to college. I wanted to set a good
Me,
example for my brother and sister.
me too, which is weird. I mean, I'm the only person in my family's going to college, so I've
First
achieved
generation.
I've achieved a master's degree, and I'm planning to go for my PhD soon. So, um,
Congratulations. That's awesome.
let's see. So the mean one, the movie, which I absolutely love today, show for the first time. This has certainly brought out a macabre sense of a Christmas story.
Yeah.
So, except for the similarities between this one and Dr. Seuss's the story, obviously, which are somewhat identical throughout the entire film. There have been a few changes in names to protect the innocent. I know, but we still get the sense of the purpose of the movie.
Protect ourselves
Your
from lawsuit.
your character, Cindy, total badass, by the way, just saying it right now. I loved your
True.
character. Is obviously the focal point throughout the entire film. Um, the movie The Mean One and Cindy, apparently the Mean One and you had this emotional link throughout the entire movie. I think it's an emotional link, in my opinion, as a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship, or it's just plain old-fashioned revenge. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, you wind up forgetting him, which totally threw me off. I'm thinking like, what the fuck just happened? I mean, you're trying to kill this guy, and next thing you're kissing him on the cheek and forgetting him. I'm like, didn't I
No
understand why.
spoiler. Yeah, I think there's kind of an underlying theme here of like childhood trauma and how we find a way to work through it and continue on and come to terms with it, and how that involves forgiveness, and how that can help us get past it.
Absolutely. So, but throughout the entire movie, you see the B one as a puke green bastard in a Santa suit.
Yep.
You killed
Yeah,
my parents. Fuck you. You're next.
that's
So
part of the journey, right? We all have to go through the struggle before we hit the enlightenment phase.
that is true. That is absolutely 100% true. So by far, this is my favorite version of the story. I'm not gonna lie. I love this because
Oh, thank you.
what is your favorite version of the story?
I saw the animated one as a child, so I think that that has a special place to me. I'll be honest, the Jim Carrey version is interesting to watch just as like from an actor's perspective. Like I appreciate everything he did, but it gets a little crazy and zany for me. So I think the animated one is my favorite, and then of course ours.
Well, this is definitely not a squeaky clean version of the movie at all. So,
That takes
um,
a dark twist.
what is your opinion of the me one, the deadly version of the green guy?
I like it. I think it's a creative spin on it, especially for people who love horror. I think it was a creative direction to take it. And then, of course, David Howard Thornton just runs with it and does amazing. And I'm so glad I got to work with him.
Absolutely. He is a good actor. I love him. Huge fan of being Art the Clown. And I'm assuming it was a huge, wasn't really a big change of pace for him throughout the entire movie because, he's used to killing people.
Well, and
So,
he had actually had a chance to play that character before in another production, a theater production. And so he was really excited to get to bring it to film.
absolutely. So, throughout the entire film, there are moments that warrant a smile. I mean, because there's a few times I had to chuckle because some of the scenes and the lines, the dialogue, it was just fantastic. It was phenomenal. Your acting was phenomenal. David's acting was phenomenal. Everyone's acting was, but what are your favorite scenes and what are your favorite kills?
Well, since you're talking about like the kind of tongue-in-cheek moments, I love the bar scene. And the woman who plays the bartender it's kind of an Easter egg. I don't know if you knew this, but she's actually in one of the Grinch films. I think the very first one with Jim Carrey, as one of the little old ladies that they go visit to find out what he was like as a child. And
Really,
so that was like a really neat Easter egg, and I got to meet her, and I just love the way she comes up and alarmingly calls out for the person missing their drink to cover up that name. I just think that was so clever. I laughed out loud when I read that in the script. And then she just came in and was absolutely brilliant with her timing and like legitimately startled us every time. And that's one of my favorite moments. Um, Favorite kills. I am so in awe of that massive SantaCon scene. And I'm kind of disappointed because we had a crazy shooting schedule. And since I'm not in that scene, that was the one day that I wasn't called. And it looked like so much fun. And I have so many of my stunt friends in that scene. It would have been great to just come, but man, we were shooting nonstop. So I took that day off and was like, you guys have fun. And then it was just so awesome. I was kind of having some FOMO that I wasn't there that day. But they had some great kills in that.
I agree. The SantaCon restaurant was my favorite too. I mean, I was like, because it makes you want to say they kind of deserve it for being pompous asses for doing
Totally.
that.
Cathartic. For anyone who's ever been a server and had a jerk customer. Yes.
I was
Kill
a
them all.
server for believe yes, I was a server for a year. I dealt with drunk customers who I like had to put up with it for. I'm like, only 2 hours left, Ben. You can do this. You can do this. So,
You're gritting your teeth and being like, yes, ma'am, I'll get you something else.
well,
Whatever
what
you
made it worse is that I was a server in a restaurant in Northern Virginia, right outside of Quantico. So I had drunk Marines coming in, drunk sailors coming in on the weekends, watching football games, and they would do the most ridiculous things. I'm like, okay, either do I walk away or I punch them in the face. I mean, I can't take this anymore. So,
So yeah, I'm sure this was a nice, fun scene for you with all of that background. Just put him in a Santa suit and you've got the same thing.
so watching the movie as well, I kind of got the sense it was like a Rocky Home Alone mashup.
Yeah,
It's like,
I like that.
do you think it's the same? Because you're preparing to fight the guy up to the final moment, and then you're like preparing your home for like an invasion. So it's like the Rocky Home Alone mashup.
No,
Can
I
you
love
agree
that.
that
Yeah,
was like
totally.
it's,
I could totally
I
see
was
that.
like,
And of
there's
course,
Rocky, there's Kevin. Okay, it's working. I love it.
which is kind of an homage to like all of the films that we grew up watching for Christmas. Like, it's kind of nostalgic in a way to have those flavors in there that we're so used to and beloved. And um, but the highlight for me was the montage scene. I mean, I feel like every actor dreams of having a training montage, and I can just check that box now.
So you do your own stunts, which is really cool too. And
Yeah,
you do martial arts as well, which obviously you do martial arts. I mean, it's quite obvious. You've shown that in the movie numerous times. You've proven that you can kick ass at anyone at any time. So, so there are two things that stick out to me that make this movie very impressive. The makeup, obviously done by on the meme one, kind of giving the impression from Jim Carrey's version of who, and then your stunts alone and the ass kicking is obviously had to be rehearsed, of course. Were there any scenes that proved to be too difficult for you?
no, thankfully I have we had an awesome stunt coordinator in Terrence Rotolo, and we had worked together before, so that was really nice. We already had that chemistry going, and he knows my skill set. And so we just worked together to come up with things that worked well for me. And fighting and brawling is where I'm most comfortable. Uh, yeah, then falling and all of that, I was already really comfortable with going in. Wish we could have thrown a fire burn in there to just continue with my skill set, but maybe on the sequel, you know?
So what's next? MMA, WWE, or whatever?
I just continue. I do a lot of stunt doubling. And hopefully now that the strike seems to be ending, we can get back to work. And I've seen several job offers this week, so hopefully that will continue. I do a lot of motion capture as well, so
Okay.
that's really fun for me. I love going back to just pure imagination. It's like why we all got into acting, right? Just being in a blank room and playing pretend.
Definitely. I can see you in the MMA cage too, the octagon just kicking ass. I can see it right now.
Oh,
You can
well, I
do it.
appreciate that. I've actually doubled for Ronda Rousey, so I
Really?
get compared to her a lot, but I will leave the MMA and WWE to her. I prefer film and TV, but yeah, that's a huge compliment, so thank you.
Yeah. You want to get paid without the bruises. I get it.
Yeah, I like to do it for faces. I mean, we
I'm
still
too
get
pretty to do
bruises.
this.
We're avoiding that.
So it's definitely certainly worth the watch. I enjoyed the movie all the way through. Um, Seeing you, Cindy, developing throughout the entire movie as well, going from the scared little girl at the beginning up to this badass at the end, kicking the mean one's ass, and then it was phenomenally done. I loved it. It was written well. Everyone's acting was perfect. I don't see why this movie got a lot of hate. I enjoyed it a lot. So,
I think a lot of people just didn't understand that it was low budget because we were lucky enough to go play in film in theaters. And I think people were just expecting a lot of it because it was in theaters. We never said that we had a higher budget, so we weren't trying to hide that. We did the best we could with what we had, and everyone was super passionate. So we had amazing direction and writing, and our makeup artist Tatiana brought the mean one to life, and along with David Howard Thornton's incredible skill, it was a really special project, and I think one that we will all remember and cherish forever.
yeah, I love independent films. Low budget is the way to go for me. So yes, but everyone's roles definitely brought value to the movie all over 100%. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I could not put my phone down. I mean, sharing my camera, I'm like, I'm doing this back and forth. I'm texting back and forth with my friends. I'm like, dude, you gotta watch this movie. This is really cool. And then
Yay.
sometimes something happened. I had to text like, hey, this is just what happened. She just kicked this guy's ass.
You're the
Yeah,
fan that we make it for. Like that's
yeah,
that's our whole goal. It would be really awesome to kind of end up as a cult classic status. Like that would just make everyone so happy because we want this to go out and be appreciated by the people who love this stuff.
absolutely. And I love being a huge supporter of independent films. It's like I'm partnered with Terror Films. That's all they do is independent movies. So, to be honest, and I have to know, at the end of the movie, when the me one dies, his heart explodes. Did you feel a little sad? I mean,
Oh, totally. Yeah. I think and I couldn't believe when we were filming that was my first day meeting David, and he did such an amazing job. And it was so impressive to me that with all of that makeup on and everything happening, like his eyes are still so expressive. And I found myself as an actor being completely moved in the moment. And after we finished that scene, the writer came over to me and he's like, we went back and forth on that scene. We didn't know if it would work. And I really fought for it. And thank you so much because you guys did exactly what I had in my head on making that work. And he was really happy with it. And it meant so much that Flip came over and said that to me. And I don't know if you realized, but the writer is also played my dad. So we had a
really?
really nice
Okay,
relationship at that point because we had filmed all the dad scenes, and it just meant a lot
that's
that he
awesome.
really appreciated how that turned out because I was super happy with it and just so impressed with David and the connection we created having just met. It's really awesome to work with such a skilled actor that it's effortless to relate like that.
Well, just talking to you, I feel like you get along with anybody. I mean,
Thank you. I mean, I feel like any day on set is a good day, and that's the kind of people that I was working with. Everyone feels the same way, and I think that's kind of a special thing that happens in independent film is that everybody wants to be there. They're all making it because they want to and not because they're just there for a paycheck. And I really that's why I love doing that, you know? Like I certainly make more if I go to a big studio film and I double or whatever. But this one was really special getting to act and do stunts and connect with all of these awesome individuals that are just so passionate about what they do.
well, you're definitely talented. I was very impressed with your acting, and as I tell all audiences, I'm very hard to impress when it comes to movies and acting. But you and David, you stole the movies. I'm telling you, it was all there. All the elements were there. I loved it. I have no complaints about this movie whatsoever. So, and people tell me like, Ben, you're an asshole sometimes. You're the hardest critiquer. And I'm like, you know what? I have movies that the movies I watched that actually impressed me. And the meme one actually impressed me 110%. I'm like, I loved it. It was there. I loved it.
Well, thank
So
you so
everything was
much.
done perfectly.
I'm more honored knowing that this you don't just say this to everybody.
You're absolutely welcome. The pleasure's all mine. Do you have any upcoming films or movies that you're allowed to talk about that you can tell the audience?
Allowed to talk about is the key word there. I can tell you there's another if since you like indie film, my fiance and I, who was also in stunts, Brandon Elmore, we got to co-coordinate a feature film called The Misadventures of Vincent Hick, and it is gonna be so much fun. It's it's shot in black and white, and it kind of has like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Sin City vibe because of that, but it's largely an adventure action comedy, and the two lead actors are phenomenal. If you appreciate good acting, they are hilarious and have such a great buddy dynamic. And then we got to coordinate the stunts on that, and I play a small part in that and get to do a fight scene and go through a table. And I cannot wait for that to come out. It should be out early next year. And I have a video game that hopefully is coming out sometime next year. Totally can't talk about it more than that, but keep an eye on my social media and then you'll know what it is.
Absolutely. I will definitely keep an eye on your Facebook is the way to go. That's how I promote all my stuff. So
I'm most
thank you.
active on Instagram. Krystle in La La Land is my handle, and it's my name is spelled weird. It's Krystle in La La Land.
I'm gonna add you right away. Stick off with this. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. You are a phenomenal actress. I loved you in the movie, and I wish you nothing but success in your career because you deserve it. So,
You as well. This is a really awesome platform, and thank you so much for asking me on.
and I want to see some awards in your resume. God damn it, because you deserve one. For the me one, I'm sorry for the me one. All the falls and bruises and shit you went through, you deserve a reward for that. I mean,
Oh,
I
thank
couldn't
you.
take that. My body could not take that kind of beating. So, so you definitely deserve it. And damn it, this has been fun. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you around the big screen.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas to you and your family and your fiance, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.